1.5 once more. Nisango niskrihosi Tvam suprakasho niranjana ayameva hite bandha samadhim anutishtasi. Even though in this chapter, first chapter, there are many verses are very direct, but this is one of the most popular concept that is being challenged in this verse. That ayam eva hite bandha, ayam eva hite bandha. What is that? Samadhim anutishtasi iti. So that means as long as you are thinking that you want to get into samadhi, or you are practicing samadhi, or you are doing meditation, that itself is a bondage for you. Because you are doing means there is a kartutva bhavam. And as long as there is a kartutva bhavam, that means what? Definitely there is a bhaktutva bhavam, and that long you are bound ityartha. We have seen in details. Continuing. Tvaya vyaptamidam vishvam tvai protam yatharthatha shuddha buddha sarupastvam magama kshudra chittata. Here he says, look, the first thing is, generally in any other teaching, they focus on do this, do that, what we call in short as preaching. So preaching focuses on do's and don'ts. Do this, don't do that, ityartha. But the teaching highlights avoid, understand, then other things gets dropped. That getting dropped sometimes being explained tyaja, tyaktva, sometimes muktva, give up, or grow out of, be free. But that is not commandment at all. So here also you need to look at both the angle for a sadhaka drishti and also for a mumukshi drishti. So if you are a jigyasu sadhaka, you can say, look, here he says, idam vishwam Tvaya vyaptam iti. So this universe that you see is indeed pervaded by you. And not only that, yatharthatah tvai pratam. So very nice word he says that, no, yatharthatah, in reality, truly. Not that I am building up some stories. Yatharthatah tvai pratam iti. So that means what? In you, not only this universe, idam vishwam, is pervaded by you, also in you, in reality, each stone is woven. How? We give this example. How the flowers are being put together and made a mala, a garland. And in that garland, there is a sting, there is a thread. That actually, what does it do? It owns. But that is not visible. the thread that is being used for a flower mala, a garland of flower, also being used for pearl. Now, the thread value does not change. Value, not only that, thread does not feel that, oh look, I am, because of me all the pearls are together. Not because of me all the flowers are together. Thread being invisible, how makes a mala as visible, even though in reality there is no mala. There are only flowers or pearls. There is no garland as such. So how this happens? He says, look, in you, by you, everything happening, but don't bring only for you, okay? By the people, for the people, of the people, okay? So from that concept I brought it, nothing else. Then what is to be done? He says, look, kshudra chittatam ma gamaha iti. So how I can do that? Yes, it is possible, not that it is not possible, because tvam shuddha buddha swarupaha iti. So this is the main point. Why you can do it? Because only you can be able to get rid of kshudra chittatam. Kshudra means very small, narrow thinking, petty-mindedness. That means like insecure thinking, smallness of your thoughts and thinking process. All these things called kshudra chittyam tasya bhava iti. Kshudra chittatam. So, ma gama. Do not subscribe to that. Do not fall into that. In translation, do not go for it. Do not subscribe. Do not encourage. Do not follow. In fact, don't fall into this trap. Why? Because tvam suddha buddhi swarupaha iti. So that means suddha buddhi swarupam yasya saha. So who you are, whose buddhi is not ordinary buddhi, is suddha, is pure. But what happened? You associate with kshudra buddhi, very small, narrow-minded thinking. Because you are comfortable, your kartutvam especially is being addressed, bhaktutvam is being taken care. Means ahankara is being addressed, and the bhaktutvam is being taken care. Sense of enjoyership is being taken care. So that's why what you need to do. So focus on that. You are not having this small ordinary thinking, but you are having vast, great thinking. The reason is why? Because please understand here how around the thread all the pearls move or flowers move. So also around you everything moves. This can be also wrong way, okay? So around me everything moves, so that I am the boss, I am everything. That is called dangerous, okay? This is called dangerous side of Vedanta. So we are not looking at that aspect, okay? Here when I say, as around me everything moves, also around you everything moves, around everybody everything moves. There is no me and others, okay? There is only me exist, you understand? But problem is this ordinary me says what? Me and others. And in that others I compare, I am better than, or better than, my me is better than your me, okay? Like all these goat when they try to, make sound, meh, meh. So then other one will say, meh, it's much more bigger, okay? It's like cuckoos. Have you ever observed this? Cuckoos. It's a better word, okay, instead of meh, meh, meh. But you love because you do meh, 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 okay? Here he says, look, why all these things? Because here what happened is, here you need to work on few things. There are few prakriyas have been highlighted. The first one is Brahma Tyaga Prakriya, the methodology called Brahma Tyaga Prakriya. So what is that Brahma? What is the delusion you have? So he used this word Kshudra Chittatam. So that means that Kshudra Chittam Tasya Bhavaha iti. So in short, why does it happen? Why you have narrow mind? Why you are a narrow-minded person? What is the reason behind it? Because of Dehabhimana. So as long as you have Abhimana with reference to your body, mind and complex, Abhimana means attachment, oneness, closeness. And because of the closeness, there is dependence. See, closeness has no problem at all. But because you are close, that does not mean that you have to depend. And what you do, dependence is being translated for a common person as a control. That's why you can observe, wherever you depend, there you control. So every part of your life, especially in a relationship, you control that person, you control that situation where there is dependence. If there is no dependence, there is no need to control. Is it really required to control? That's why the moment you start controlling somebody or something, it clearly shows that there is a sense of dependence. And this dependence happens because you are not only weak because of identification, because of association, because of proximity. Now he highlights you need to work on that to get rid of this delusion, Brahmatyaga, that so that you can work on what? Swarupa Prakasa. So another Prakriya, methodology of teaching called Swarupa Prakasa Prakriya, where what you do, instead of holding on to small thing, now you need to look, no, I am the vast, Vishwavapaka. Not only that, Atma, Aham, Atma iti. And what is that Aham? Suddha, Buddha, Swarupaha iti. Not I am so and so. Not I have a problem or I have to do this, I have to do that, etc. And when I do that, what happens? Finally, I will be able to free myself. Sarva Bandhanat Mukta will be the last stage for me. And this Sarva Bandhanat Mukta, making myself free from all these bandhanas, can happen when there is no dependence. So if there is slightest dependence on anybody, anything, now that dependence will create or will become sticky. That's why dependent people are sticky. Like a child, have you not observed? How the child is sticky with the mother? Because the child depends. Now when same child grows up, is never sticky with mother, but don't worry, child will get sticky with some other, okay? Boy or girl, whatever, depends upon, okay? So this happens and one need to work on very carefully. So what does this verse says? That he says, look, Atma is Vishwavapaka. Atma pervades everywhere, everything. Not only that, also the entire universe is in Atma. Second point highlights Atma is Suddha Buddha Swarupaha. Means Nitya Suddha Chaitanya Swarupaha iti. Third point highlights, so how to really appreciate this concept, because may you tyajya, may you give up. What you need to give up? Dehabhimana Shuddha Chittatam iti. Then only what will happen? Slowly you will be able to abide with yourself. That drudha-nishtha, the commitment will take place. Continuing. Nirapeksho nirvikaro nirvara shitalasaya agadha buddhirakshubdha bhava chinmatra vasanaha. Says, goes again further. Tvam nirapeksha, tvam nirvikaraha nirvaraha sitalasaya agadha buddhi akshubdaha bhava chinmatra vasana bhava. So do you understand anything? Swamiji, please don't talk too many Sanskrit words, okay? But don't worry. So, tvam nirapeksha bhavaha. So that means, nirapeksha means not unapeksha, without any expectation. And another word is, when you don't have expectation, then there will be no dependence. When you expect something from somebody, there is dependence. A dependent person will expect. And as long as you are expecting, that long you are dependent. And as long as you are dependent, that long you are bound. And as long as you are bound, not only you are not happy, you will try to control anybody and everybody. So he says, Tvam nirapeksha bhava iti. Be free from expectations so that you work on. So when you start making yourself free from expectation, you will not depend upon. I'll give you a beautiful example. Today I was talking to my boys. So I asked him something. Hey, how come you guys did not do it? Do you know what they did? They just smiled. And when they smiled, I also started to smile back. Do you know why? Why should I expect from these guys? Yes, I happens to be caretaker with my understanding, because as long as this body is there, by God's grace, few things have been given to be taken care by me. That's why I am a trustee. I am not owner of anything. I understand that I am a trustee. I am not owner of anything, including this body, mind complex. Problem is, boys do not understand. And if they understand, why they should be with me in the ashram? They can have their own ashram and sitting there as a Swami. The fact that they are with me, they don't understand this. I was smiling at myself. Wow, that's good. Good, continue. That's why we say very carefully. Ashram should not run by a Swami. Ashram should run by a manager. And manager can be handled by some other people, okay? Not the Swami. Because Swami what will say, okay, मेरा क्या जाता है? Let me not get into that mode, okay? Coming back. Tvam nirapekshah bhava. Not only that, nirvikara bhava. So nirvikara means free from modification, without any modification, in the sense changeless ityartha. So whenever there is a change in you, in a body especially, hey, don't be associated. Don't think that you are changing. You know, your body is aging. What you say? I am old. Especially, this you must have remembered your first gray hair. Okay, now all of you don't mind. Okay, the first gray hair the day you saw, how is it? Forget first gray hair. Now I'll tell you when the first tooth will fall down. It's not a joke, okay? Serious. And here he says, look, don't get carried away when the modification takes place or when there is a change. Nirvaraha bhava. So, nirvara bhava means, generally, we are having fear. Why there is fear? Because I am depending upon somebody. And here he says, start functioning without any support. Swatmani, that's why we use the word. Only in one's own self. Because when you take support for anything and everything, there has to be fear. And moreover, if you observe, wherever you take a real support, that support system fails. The backup doesn't work. And you should be prepared for it. And that's why interestingly says that Shitalasaya Bhavaha means, here Shitalasaya means Shitala Asaya Yasya Saha. That means what? Whose mind is cool, serene in disposition. Okay, cool Bhava ityartha. Cool. And of course, agadha buddhi, because you have only very narrow buddhi. Thinking, your knowledge is very shallow. Imagine if you have deep knowledge, profound knowledge. Will you behave like a surfer? Surfer means a small fish. One type of fish, if you go to any lake or pond anywhere, small type of fish, they will push all the top. Some 50 to 100 they will be there, as though they will make that as though it's full. Because they cannot dive into the water on the surface. Whereas the big ones, what happens? They are always, once in a while they will come up like whale, okay? The moment comes, everybody looks what's happening, okay? Once in a while. That's why he says, look, agada buddhi, akshibdaha. So akshibda means undisturbed. And how all these things happen? Because chinmatra vasanaha bhava iti. That means Your vasana, the inclination only towards awareness. But if my vasana is towards what? What is vasana? Do you know what is the vasana? We have discussed a lot in different classes, different occasions, okay? I hope you understand vasana word. So the vasana is nothing, your imprint. The imprint of your thought. So every thought leaves behind some type of residue. Because thought itself is nothing but a picture of any object, situation or person. So digital form of objects, people, a situation is called thought. I was talking to somebody, this is good. Now vasana is the digital version of digital, okay? Or compressed version, subtler version. However, so vasana, let the vasana be directed towards what? Chin, chit iti. Then only you will see the difference in you. That's why here he highlights same thing, that you need to work on Brahmatyaga. So you need to get rid of or resolve. There are delusions you have. And what are they? So what you do, always you depend upon apeksha. You expect, depend upon, don't do that. Apeksha nivruti. Vikara, always you highlight vikara, modifications, changes, and you keep changing. That's not right. Then always your foundation is external, bahya adhara. That also you need to work on. And of course your mind is always asantam, asanta chitatta, not kulkul. So disturbed. And of course all the time there is a kshobha, that anger, anguish. I am not addressed, I am not given justice. I don't have self-respect. Nobody respected me. So that kshobha within one's own self is there, so much inbuilt. So you need a place, it's like, you need something, to brush. Remember, you need to work on to resolve them, because it is nothing but is only your projection. Today you have all these things with reference to one person, one situation. Don't worry. You remove that place, that person. It will happen with reference to other person, other situation too. Better to work. And once you do that, what will happen? Then Swarupa Prakasa Prakriya will happen simultaneously. Atma, instead of apeksha, nirapeksha will become. Instead of vikara, nirvikara. Instead of bahya adhara, it will be depending upon one's own self. Then comes sitalasaya, instead of asanta chittata, sitalasaya. And of course, it says, kshava will go away. This avada buddhi and akshubdha will happen. And when you do that, then of course, you will be free from everything. That is what indeed is called moksha. We have also completed our time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.